Despite being the nominee for the Democratic Party, Joe Biden could face challenges getting on the Ohio ballot. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video today. It is time to talk about the 2024 presidential election because everyone, in a stunning turn of events, there is a possibility that Donald Trump will win the state of Ohio without any competition, as Joe Biden could theoretically be kicked off the ballot this year. Yeah, you heard that right. There is a possibility Trump wins Ohio this November uncontested. Granted, he was going to win the state no matter what, but now there's a possibility that no matter what happens, Trump could be the only major candidate on the ballot in Ohio. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now, let's be 100% clear. There's a 99.9% chance that Joe Biden will be on the ballot in Ohio. There is, however, a possibility that, well, if things don't change soon in the state and within the Democrat Party, Biden could be kicked off the ballot. And I know, that sounds crazy, but when you read into what's happening here, yeah, there is a serious possibility that Joe Biden could be kicked off the ballot in Ohio. There could be potential general election ballot access concerns for President Biden in Ohio. The state's Secretary of State's office sent in a letter to Ohio Democratic Chair Liz Walters on Friday. You heard that right. This wasn't some anonymous source in the Biden campaign claiming, well, he might be kicked off the ballot because of X reason. This is from the Secretary of State. In the letter obtained by ABC News, legal counsel for Secretary of State Frank LaRose sought clarification for an apparent conflict in Ohio law between the Democratic National Committee's nominating process and the deadline by which the party's presidential nominee must be certified to the Secretary of State's office. The Democratic National Convention is scheduled to convene on August 19th, which will take place more than a week after the August 7th deadline to certify a presidential candidate in Ohio, the office flagged according to the state code, which would create a problem for Biden's eligibility. Now, I understand that some of you might be saying, well, isn't this just what happened to Trump in Colorado and Maine? No. There is a big difference between the Trump case in Colorado, Maine, etc., and the potential Ohio case for Biden. The big difference is, in the Biden case, this isn't a question about, well, is he eligible, whether he's an insurrectionist, is he too old? It's nothing related to that. The question is he going to qualify for the ballot based on deadlines set by the state? And every state can set their own deadline. Ballot requirements, all of that. They can't set what Colorado was trying to do and saying, well, Trump's an insurrectionist, so we can kick him off the ballot. Yes, they can require candidates to have, 50,000 signatures, whatever, but they can't define, he's an insurrectionist, therefore he cannot be on the ballot. No. In this case, it's just, hey, the deadline is August 7th, while you guys are convening on August 19th. So therefore, according to state law, you would not be allowed to be on the ballot. Talk about different circumstances completely. One deals with an untested constitutional theory that is so bizarre that even most Democrats agreed, yeah, that's just nuts. And they try to redefine who's eligible for the presidency and all of that, while this case is just, hey, the deadline is a certain date. If you're not the nominee by that date, you're not going to be on the ballot. But the biggest difference between the Trump case and the Biden case is, unlike what happened with the Trump case where that was some grand conspiracy that's never been tested before, this same thing that Biden is potentially going through is what happens to third-party candidates every single election cycle. Every single year, whether it's the Green Party, the Libertarians, whoever it is, they deal with the same crap. Even at the presidential level. Remember the Green Party back in 2020? Democrats had them kicked off in many states, including states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, etc. So this isn't some untested theory that no one's ever done before. Hell, this is a very common thing where there's some big questions surrounding ballot access, which I think there should be some better laws in the book about it. But this is a case where, hey, the deadline is August 7th, 2 weeks before the national convention for the Democratic Party. What is the state of Ohio supposed to do? Under the law, you would be ineligible for the ballot. I am left to conclude that the DNC must either move up its nominating convention or the Ohio Assembly must act by May 9th to create an exception to this requirement. Legal counsel Paul DeSantis wrote in the letter requesting a quick response on a solution to become compliant with state law. DeSantis. Hey, that's what he's doing now. Not Ron DeSantis, but hey, it's his long-lost cousin like DeSantis. I don't know how you pronounce this one, but I assume it's DeSantis. Point is, though, this is not some rumored theory being spread by the Democrat or the Republican parties. This is from the Secretary of State sending a letter to the Democrat Party in Ohio, and I assume to the National Democrat Party as well. The Ohio Democratic Party confirmed to ABC News that they received the letter and are in process of reviewing it. Copying the letter were top Ohio Democrats, Ohio House Minority Leader Allison Russo, and Ohio Senate Minority Leader Nikki Antonio. Ohio, a former battleground state, has shifted right in recent years. They elected former President Trump by 8 points in both 2016 and 2020. Now, like the article says, I mean, Ohio is a deep red state now. Why does this matter? Who cares if Trump wins the state by 50 instead of winning it by just 15 or 10? Why does it matter? Well, there's two reasons why, and this is why the Biden campaign, they're not going to treat this like Wyoming where it's like, whatever. It's Wyoming, who frickin' cares? Two reasons. One, he wants to win the popular vote, no matter what. Because, alright, let's just say Trump wins the Electoral College. Let's say he ends up with 312 or whatever. If he wins the national popular vote by, say, 1%, or I should say Biden does, no matter what, he's going to claim, I actually won the election because the popular vote was won by me. Therefore, I'm the president. And that's number one. They want to win the popular vote because no matter what happens, they want to claim he's the legitimate winner, not Orange Man. And which, again, that's just stupid. In Ohio, despite being a more Republican state, Democrats are going to win a couple million votes out of Ohio. And again, that doesn't seem like that much, but when you factor in what's happening with New York and California, potentially shifting more Republican, same thing in Florida, hell, even Texas might swing towards Trump, a little bit at least. That 2 million votes right there could be the difference between Trump winning the popular vote or Biden winning it. And that's the first reason. But that's not the number one reason of why they want to keep Biden on the ballot. Down ballot elections. Now, the state legislature, Republicans got like a supermajority. That's not the concern for Democrats at all. It's the House seats, but more importantly, the Senate seat. So let's start the House seats because, surprisingly, there are a couple House seats that Republicans could theoretically win. Of course, everyone talks about Ohio 9th and Ohio 13th, but let's just say Biden is kicked off the ballot in Ohio. Now, Democrats are still going to vote. There will be some Democrats voting, but without Biden at the top of the ticket, turnout would 100% crater, especially on the Democrat side, because Trump would still be on the ticket, so people would still get out and vote for him. Yeah, he's going to win the state, but his voters are going to vote no matter what, especially if he's on the ballot. But if Biden's not on the ballot, well, a lot of these Democrats may just not vote. They may not see a reason to vote. So let's just assume a couple 100,000 Democrats decide, you know what, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to waste my time. You know, Biden's not going to win the state. He's not even on the ballot. Who frickin' cares? Well, in that scenario, I could see a couple House seats flipping. First one would probably be Amelia Sykes in Ohio 13th. I know it's a Biden +3 seat, but I think she's the weakest incumbent of the three competitive seats, at least. Captor's the strongest, obviously, but Landsman has the more Biden-friendly seat. So I think Sykes goes down. If you just have even 100,000 Democrats not voting, I think she's screwed. But let's just assume enough Democrats don't vote where Captor, despite winning a chunk of Trump voters over, goes down. That's 2 extra House seats, and I've done many videos on the subject. If Republicans can win one of these 2, or even hell, pull something off in Ohio first, which is not going to happen, we'll just say they somehow do. And when you combine what's happening in North Carolina, where Republicans are going to gain 3 House seats there at the bare minimum, probably 4, Republicans would have a very easy time to get the majority if this occurs. Again, the chances of Biden being kicked off the ballot in Ohio is so slim. I mean, you're talking about like 0.1% chance it even happens. But if it does somehow occur, Democrats have virtually zero pathway to the House. Something crazy could happen in New York and California, fine. But even then, that may not be enough under the current maps. But this is not the only electoral reason for why Democrats don't want this to occur. The Senate. This is what they care the most about. Because if Brown goes down to Ohio, they're done. Republicans would have a 1-seat majority. Yes, you would have to deal with Lisa Murkowski, but Republicans would still have that majority at the bare minimum. They can at least control the Senate, kind of. And let's assume a couple 100,000 Biden voters don't vote. Brown would lose. And in that scenario, it doesn't matter if Democrats win Montana, Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan. Republicans would have 51 Senate seats to Democrats' 49. Now, many Democrats are going to claim, well, Brown's a different type of Democrat, and he appeals to the Trump voters, so he doesn't need the Biden voter to win. False. Brown, yes, he does have an appeal to some Trump voters. That's true, especially in northeastern Ohio. But this theory that he's such a huge overperformer that he outruns everyone by 50 points is false. I mean, if 200,000 Biden voters, let alone 100,000, decide I'm not going to vote because Biden's not on the ticket, Brown would be screwed. Look back at what happened in 2012. Sherrod Brown got 50.7% of the vote, and Josh Mandel got 44.7%. All right, that's critical. Barack Obama got 50.58%. But the funny thing is, despite having a slightly larger vote share, he received less raw votes than Obama. Look at this. Obama got 2.8 million votes. Brown, 2.7 million. He got around 60,000 votes less than Obama. Yes, there were plenty of Romney Brown voters, but the claim that, well, he's going to outperform Biden by 70 points and all of that, that's not going to happen. In the one presidential year he ran in, he barely outperformed the top of the ticket. And that's with receiving less raw votes than Obama, despite having a higher vote share. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.